Kia ora koutou, welcome to this event. My name's David Small. I'm the Program Co-Ordinator for the BA in Education, and I'm a Senior Lecturer here in the School of Education. Plan for this afternoon is that I'll just say a few words, then I'll introduce you to some people. I'll introduce them as their turn is to speak. We're really just here to welcome all of you, our students, not all of our students, we've got a lot more students than this, but thanks to those of you who came along to meet us. So I thought I'd just start off by saying kind of who we are and why we're here. What we have in common is that we're involved either as teachers or as students in this BA in education. So we're interested in understanding education, not for the purposes of preparing ourselves to go and be teachers, but more for the purposes of understanding what education is all about. We're interested in the study of all these things that we call education. And education is a vast area of study in one form or another. It's been an aspect of every human society that's ever existed. It's also something everybody seems to have an opinion about. My brother's an economist, and when people find out he's an economist, they generally ask him about things. They recognise his expertise and they want to find out what he knows about economics. When people find out I'm an educationalist, they don't ask me things, they tell me things, because everybody's got their own little theory about education. Everybody has been through education in some form or other, things they liked about it, things they didn't like it, they have views about it. Because education reaches into so many different aspects of society. This year, major announcements on education were made in New Zealand by the Prime Minister, not by the Minister of Education. It might have something to do with the Minister of Education's previous handling of things, but the overall point is that sometimes education issues are so big that the leader of the country wants to come and make these statements, him or herself. And it's not uncommon for political leaders, when they want to make a big statement about society in education, to take the reins of education themselves. When Tony Blair came to office as Prime Minister in the UK, he announced that his first three priorities, his three main priorities for his term in office, number one was education, number two was education, number three was education. In New Zealand recent history, when David Lange came back for a second term as Labour Prime Minister in 1987, he took over the reins as Education Minister, and he saw through and introduced radical changes to the education system. A lot of the things that we see in New Zealand we now take for granted grew out of those changes that he initiated as Prime Minister of New Zealand. Until recently, there was a pretty clear divide between the study of education as the sort of area of interest as carried out in the university as part of a BA, and the professional education that took place in different institutions, in teachers' colleges, which became colleges of education, which were designed to prepare teachers for their professional lives as teachers. And these in Christchurch were in standalone institutions. And then a few years ago, again as a result of government policy, there were decisions made to incorporate these institutions. And so the study of education that used to be here as part of the university pre-merger was incorporated into what became a new College of Education, which was not a College of Education on its own, but it was a College of Education of the university. The way there is a College of Science in the university, College of Business and Economics, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So it put our BA program in this sort of strange situation where the school that we were teaching this BA from was located from here over to the site of the College of Education, but we're still teaching into this program. So our BA students talking to you people here are people who are doing subjects alongside other BA students who are doing all of these subjects and who aren't necessarily kind of connected in with the College of Education. But we as academic staff teaching into this program are kind of geographically separated over there. In the next couple of years, we're hoping that geographical separation will change, and we'll actually move back over here, which will make it slightly less kind of awkward in terms of travelling and so on. Travelling for us, we do try to teach our courses here rather than over there, so that we do the travelling rather than you. I thought it might be interesting to just pose the question to you. I've said, that the education has been taught here at the university for a long time. And as a little exercise, I just want to see if you know quite how long it has been taught as a subject in the BA. So everybody put your hands up. And when I get through a period of time, take your hand down when you think that I've got to how long ago education started in the BA. Come on, hands up, hands up, hands up. Okay, opening bit of 20 years ago. Obviously it started longer than 20 years ago. I was here 20 years ago. 30 years ago. Take your hand down when you think we've got far enough. 40 years ago, if you think it started 40 years ago. 50 years ago. 55 years ago. 70 years ago. 80 years ago, 95 years ago. So we've got 4 hanging in there. Oh, use your hand up, Jay? No, you're down. 100 years ago, 105 years ago. But are you all down, are you? 110 years ago. 110 years ago, 1904. The first education course in the BA was offered in this institution. At the time it was the Canterbury College of the University of New Zealand, but still this institution. And just out of interest of how things change, how they stay the same, I found a couple of exam questions from the education final exam in 1907. And so here's a couple of the exam questions. Indicate how far Rousseau was indebted to Locke for his educational theories, and show in what important points the former made a real advance on the latter. That was one exam question, education exam in 1907, and another one, give a general account of our present state of knowledge regarding the relation between mental processes and brain function. Be interesting if Anna marked the exam scripts from 1907 on that question and see how much knowledge has changed since then. So anyway, what those 2 questions and indeed our presence here shows is that what we're talking about in education is a study of a very, very broad range of knowledge. And one of the things that we have been consistently trying to do in the school and with our BA program is to ensure that when people graduate with a BA in education, they have a good grasp of that breadth of knowledge, right through from educational theories of Rousseau to how the brain works, that being an expert in education means understanding not just those narrow slices of information, but how much those broad areas of education, broad areas of study fit together as a whole. One of the other changes that's taken place kind of administratively in the university in recent times is that for enrolment and so on, everybody kind of enrolls online, just all, on your computer thing and press the buttons and so on. Back in the day, don't have to go that far back, what enrolment involved was going over to what was the science lecture blocks and getting a piece of paper and filling it in and going one by one round different offices that were there, or up to the offices of academic staff, to get approval to enter into courses and have conversations with staff about those things. There were no student advisors then. Academic staff were student advisors. So when I first started, I ended up going going from the science lecture block up to an office in that building over there, and found Colin McGeorge sitting in his office smoking his pipe, giving advice. You have a conversation about your courses. With the online stuff and all the rest of it, we tend to just see each other, academic staff and students, in the context of courses that we teach, and our conversations tend to be sort of focused specifically on those courses. So part of what we're wanting to do through this process we've started today is to kind of get to know students a little bit better, so that you know who we are, that we can provide some kind of space and forum for us to communicate about the work that you're doing at the university, but in a way that isn't specifically necessarily focused on those courses, but as an overall kind of orientation. So